Combining all of those skills together, the art and the science, the thinking and the doing, was what resulted in the exception.
What's going on, my fellow YouTube traders? Today is Tuesday, January 15th, and what I want to do is go over a quick video to kind of describe and show you what an open drive looks like. This is kind of almost like an small open auction. As you can tell here, we kind of auctioned off a little bit, but then have a driving force. And what's key about this driving force is it kind of gives you a clue early on to, hey, don't get short. And the reason why I want to talk about this too is because I've made videos regarding delta divergences at extremes, which is right here, and you could take them short typically for a scalp. But when we have this type of behavior, this type of open, really don't even test below open, nothing, and just kind of off the bat we get this good buy side delta with volume, and then you get the the real indicator, the real clue, which is strong delta, which is lifting, right? Everyone's that's on the offer is getting lifted right there, really strong prints, right? Look at this battle right here, this 17. Let me clear this so you guys can see it. There was a real battle right here, and where is it? This red line right here that you guys see is Monday's high, and check that out. Look how much traded right there. You had 1237 on the bid, 1778 on the offer. Those are people who are trying to hold yesterday's high, and hopefully a seller's trying to push everyone back down here in range and maybe sell off, right? But what happens is you have great volume, 21,000 contracts coming in this rotation, and they just continue to press. Then we have this nice extension up of 8 points, and then we got this flagging pattern, right, where you have a delta imbalance. And by all means, you can take this short, right? But when you see a driving force like this off the bat, off the open, this is some type of institution on market on open order that's just buying. We are in earnings. You guys got to be careful about that. If you're going to take this, you're trading this for a point, 2 points maybe, or a couple ticks. You just have to really assess the order flow in real time and know, do I really want to go against this? And I didn't take this short. It just didn't make any sense. Once I saw this bar right here, once I saw all this order flow coming in with good volume, I was just looking for an area to get long. But it was just too early on in the morning for me, and I like to let the market kind of play out a little bit. But in essence, you can see here the entire time we're trading above, we're holding VWAP, we're holding mid, and we're just starting to push and push higher. And what happens once we get to the that 2600 century figure, right? If you guys ever pay attention to it, you know that around these century figures there's typically some stops that are being placed above or below, depending on where we're trading from. And here's a good example of what a stop run looks like. Look at all that strong lifting on the offers, and you can see some zero prints here on the bids. Those are just stop runs. Those are people who don't even have a chance. They had their stop orders above the 2600 century figure, and they got stopped out once again on good volume, 15,000 contracts traded, good delta, 4600 on the strength of the delta. So just by seeing that, we know that, okay, this is either going to be we're going to only play from the long side, and this could potentially be a trend up day scenario. We don't know yet. It's only 10 o'clock, so only 30 minutes have traded. The first 30 minutes have traded, but it kind of gives us some clues, right? That's what we're looking for in the order flow. We want to stay on the side of the flow. We want to have some clues on who's the dominant side, or buyers or sellers, who's dominant in this market, and you want to trade with the dominant side. Now later on, we continue to push up higher, and again, right here, what you guys see right here is these are longs getting stopped out. So check this size coming in right here, right? Boom. I mean, this was a crazy, look at this, 5200 strong delta on the sell side, just slamming those bids. Could be a lot of these participants who are trading these breakouts right above the 2600. These are breakout traders. So all these guys probably who took the breakout trade, helping the stop and just continued and added here and lift, got smoked right here. And this continuation bar on good volume, look at that, 28,000 contracts traded. This right here, I don't know if you guys have news, but this entire move right there was because somebody came out, I forgot who came out today, and stated that they don't see any real headline or real positive talks between China and the US regarding the trade wars on I think it was on some patent or technology rights. I don't know, it didn't really matter, but I heard the news come out, and then I saw this just block sell, just boom, swept the bids, stopping a lot of people out, and continued. So at this point I was kind of like, okay, let's make sure that we don't just chop and then just sink now, because China news is pretty dramatic in this market, and we can kind of just take it all back. So again, reassessing the order flow, kind of paying attention. Are buyers still in on this, or are sellers not going to take over because of news and it's just hitting the tape? And you can see for a while we started on this trend down. I think just a lot of people were trying to digest the news, but as we were pushing lower, you still get a lot of buy-side absorption. And what that means is, if you guys can see here on the bids, there's a lot being traded, right? 600, 599, you got 1,090 here absorbing. Look, again, they're sweeping these bids. So there's a seller just, maybe some institution just saying, shit, let me unload some of these positions, or maybe put a hedge on, who knows. But that's aggressive selling. And, so you want to kind of pay attention to that and be like, okay, are longs still in this? Is my thesis of being buy side bullish gonna play out? And you just kind of have to assess this. It's kind of hard to review it, but as you're trading in real time, you want to see are buyers still present? Where are some key areas? And this is a key area of mine, as you guys can see, this gray band, this 92. To me today, the 92 to 94 area was key. We saw a lot of buying early on, so I didn't trade this too well. I was trying to catch some longs here in the 96s, and then I think I kind of bailed out. I bailed out right here once this swept come, because I didn't want to get caught on a 12-point drop, because it was news. We're in a news environment this morning. We are in earnings, and you just have to be very careful. But as you can see here, once this started happening, I noticed that the tape started slowing down dramatically. I'm like, okay, they're just trading this sideways now. We're not really getting too much follow through on the sell side. They attempted again here, they attempted here, nothing's really happening. We have this little bit of a divergence here on this rotation lower to 9275. Buyers held. Let's clear this a little bit. You'll see here, right, buy side absorption, and then we start getting a lifting here, good volume coming in, and then we start moving our way back up. So here at this point, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm still going to take another shot long. I'm going to be looking for 26. I'm going to take it, scale out, and my target was around between the 2610 to 2614 area, based on previous resistance that I saw when I was doing some homework here. So as you can see here, we're still trading sideways, right? Nothing's really happening. We're still in a kind of consolidation mode. If you look at this entire time, let's move this forward a little bit, so you can kind of see that this entire trade, we're just trading sideways. Nothing's really happening. Pretty good volume coming off, right? We still have some increased in levels in volume, tapers off a little bit, but there's no real initiative anymore, and we're holding this predetermined area right here. That was key resistance I have here. Now it's going to be key support. So I start looking for the longs in here. I start building a long position and start working my way in and out and scaling out as on the pops up. And then I didn't do a good job of recycling or reloading shares when we have these temporary dip downs. But then eventually you see it again. You see buyers come back into this market. Let's see, how do I... So you see here, once again, buyers come back into this market. You have good volume, good delta coming in here. Let's move this up a little bit, and you can see here, and then we get this burst, right? We get another burst up higher. Look at everything lifting right here. You see all these zeros? Nobody even has a chance to hit the bid here. They just get swept up. This is the high of day, right? This yellow line was the high of day. People put their stops here. They're thinking I'm going to be short, and then they get stopped out. This is exactly what a stop run looks like, guys. It's pretty simple and clear to see on the footprint. It's even clear to see on the Jigsaw Dome in real life. This trade took like, I don't even know, 3 hours or so, 3 or 4 hours. So I'm not going to show you the trade of the video just because it's so boring. You're going to sit there and see, you know, the market chop around. So I'm showing it to you on the footprint, just because I want to make this video quick. But cool thing, funny thing that happened here. So we got this. My target, I ended up putting a bid. Just because there's a statistical measurement, I put a bid up here at my exit. My runner was at 13.75, right? That's where I wanted to exit. We get this burst up, flag a little bit, push up again, and we stop at 13.50. 83 contracts traded here, but I'm like, you know, there's a lot of volume here. 22,000 contracts traded, pretty good side delta. Let's see what happens in the next couple bars, and I'll flatten it if we end up rolling. Yeah, I'll give a little bit back, but it's okay. But you know, we push back lower, but we hold this key volume area. Notice that volume right here, guys. Do you see this? Once we have this stop run, a lot traded right here. Check that out. Look at each price. You have 17.93, 5.19, 13.39, 20.46. I'm not going to read them all, but you can see here that's a lot of volume traded. So on the rotation lower, if this holds, I'm going to hold and see if I get a burst up and get my exit up here. Probably continues a little bit higher, but that's okay. I wanted to get out at 13.75. So what happens is we stall a little bit, right? The market flags a little bit, and then boom, we get a push up, and I get pretty lucky today. I get my exit, which happens to be the top of the day, and you can see here that we actually went bid on the market. So we traded 390 and then 17 hit into the bid. So you know, I put this order out probably like 2-3 hours ago, so I was queued pretty well in the book. And if people don't understand what that means that when you place an order, you are basically kind of standing in line on when you got in. So the quicker you put your guys' exits out, your limit orders to exit out, the better you become in line in the book. You know, if you put your order out 4 hours ago compared to somebody who put their order out an hour ago, you're going to be ahead of that. So if there's 3,000 contracts that need to be traded before it can go up to the next level, and you know, you're 3,001, right? You're 3,001 in line, and only 3,000 trade. Well, then you're not going to get filled. It's happened to me many times, so now I have this habit of once I'm in the trade, I go ahead and put in my exits right away, and then if I need to flatten out, I'll just hit the flatten button. But at least I'm trying to get queued well into the book. So I got lucky there today. It ended up being the high of day, and that was that. Let's see here. I could show you guys on this chart where it kind of shows the trades. You guys can see here. Check it out right there. There was my exit. There's the last exit being traded. You'll see some scales out here. You'll see some buying back in, scaling back out, and so forth. You'll see how I buy. Bought in here, took some off right there, but you can see I got right back in, just making sure it doesn't roll, and so forth. Buy, scale. I'm basically just working the trade and waiting for my target. So that's that. Hope this made sense to you guys. Again, I just kind of wanted to show you off and start the trade off with what does an open drive look like. Again, you guys can go back and review this video to see, you know, it kind of gives you a clue of what type of day we might have. If we have an open drive with strong volume right off the bat, don't look to fade it. you know, make sure that there's some more context that comes in the market before you guys decide to fade it, and don't just fade it because there's a delta divergence. Again, those are great for on certain trades, and they're good for little scalps, but you got to be careful not to put too much size and then get swept up like these people get swept up right on the new highs of the day. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave some comments below. If you like this video, as always, please give me the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Thank you guys. Hope you had a great day today, and hope you all trade well tomorrow.
Combining all of those skills together, the art and the science, the thinking and the doing, was what resulted in the exceptional result.